people and was executed. So they uglied her up for this movie. She gained weight and they made her look horrible for this movie.
She was a hooker, you know. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And she'd get you into the car and then she'd kill you.
See?
Yeah.
Would that be a lesson to you?
Wow.
And Naomi Watts for 21 grams, which is what I used to do. A day, out every 3 days. Maybe a movie I should see, huh?
I think this is about you in the 80s.
Yeah.
I believe. 21 grams.
Well, no, those are leading actresses. Now, the actresses in a supporting role, well, Holly Hunter, I've heard of her. Renee Zellweger, heard of her.
Yeah.
Cold Mountain.
Oh, she's fat, too. You see, she gained a lot of weight for the movie, and she hasn't been able to lose it.
Right.
So she looked terrible the other night. Her arms are all fat, her ass is all fat. She looked terrible.
Maybe they're doing a movie about the aforementioned Hillary Clinton coming up, and she's staying,
Staying in shape, so to speak. And I don't know what else. I mean, we don't. There's not much. Oh, the directing deal.
Where is it?
The City of God, The Lord of the Rings, Lost in Translation, Master Deal, Mystic Rose, that's fine. And one of my favorites, film editing. I don't know, it's just, I know, how about the songs of it like that?
Should I get up and make room for Joan Rivers? Is she going to be here?
Look, that guy's getting blown up in Iraq, and you'd think these guys would be curing cancer or something the way they talk about him.
I don't know, it just sucks, the whole thing. So anyway, how many of you people that are here this morning will actually, and you've all been here since before 6 o'clock Eastern time, so how many of you will actually go vote today? As Republicans, what's the turnout for the Republican primary, particularly since the president's unopposed and all that? Is it large, or do you know? Or?
This man says very large. Man with the pink tie.
Oh, it is. That was a good decision, that tie this morning. That was great. But it was dark. It was dark, and you put on whatever you could get your hands on.
You know who that man is, by the way?
The gay marriage vote right there.
That man owns this hotel that we're in right now.
He does?
He owns the hotel we're in right now. He is the...
You better be very large. You wear a tie like that.
Do you own a hotel? It's a huge place. It's the size of Delaware. It's a large place, right? How come we couldn't stay here? Oh, they did. It's a very nice place you have here. So.
And they got porn.
They got it, my man. Now that you told him it's a nice place, and he said, "Can I tell you what I heard about why we didn't stay here?"
No.
Yeah.
No, what?
I'm not going to tell you who told me. I heard that one of the reasons we didn't stay here was because the owner of the hotel was afraid that you might trash the place if you didn't like it. That's what I heard. Is that true? No. Okay.
I've never trashed any place we didn't like.
I didn't say you did.
We had one problem in Scranton. But that was years ago, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, it was last century.
I'm just telling you what I heard.
Just merely left, that's all.
But it's obviously not true because the man said it's not true.
No, I mean, I could have said a couple of things the past couple of days, which I've chosen not to.
Of course.
But no, I wouldn't do that.
I know.
Okay.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
You mean the deal about you can't take your socks off in a room, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. It's 21 now, till they are.
Are you in there?
Son of a bitch! Pansy-ass stool pusher. Yes.
I found Verdell, Mr. Udall.
Well, that's a load off.
Uh-huh. Did you do something to him?
Do you realize that I work at home?
No, I wasn't aware.
Do you like to be interrupted when you are nancing around in your little garden?
No, I actually will turn the ringer off of my phone and sometimes put a piece of cardboard.
Well, I work all the time. So never interrupt me, okay? Not if there's a fire. Not even if you hear the sound of a thud from my home, and 1 week later, there's a smell coming from there that can only be a decaying human body. And you have to hold a hanky to your face because the stench is so thick that you think you're gonna faint. Even then, don't come knocking. Or if it's election night, and you're excited and you want to celebrate because some fudge packer that you date has been elected the first queer president of the United States, and he's going to have you down to Camp David. And you want someone to share the moment with. Even then, don't knock. Not on this door. Not for any reason. Do you get me, sweetheart? imus in the morning.
Dr. Leon, world-renowned psychic, will now telepathically communicate the power behind the new...
That water taxi service suspended, New York waterway ferries are being canceled, Metro North heavy delays, and street cleaning rules are suspended, but you still have to pay the parking meters. It is currently 19 degrees in New York City. I'm Tina Cervasio with the Fan Highway Patrol.
14 till the hour here in the Imus Morning program on the radio and on MSNBC. We're in Concord, New Hampshire, where we have been all morning. And it's been a good trip to New Hampshire, and Charles and I were just talking that it is going to be interesting and fun to see.
Sure.
For some reason, I have a greater interest in this election than I did the last one. I don't know why,
But it is fun.
the only thing I would like to see, well, now, at 14 till 10 Eastern Time. What?
Nothing. What? What are you going to say? What?
Well, I'd now like to see Kerry crush Dean, so that Dean has to just, I mean, he's got money, I guess he could continue, but it would just be pointless. And then I'd like to see Lieberman come in third, which is all you could really expect.
Yeah. As he said, doing better than anticipated.
So that he could stay in, so. Because he's a decent American, and he would not make a horrible president.
No, he's a decent American and a very smart man.
But he's not going to be president, is he?
I don't think so.
No.
Doesn't appear so now.
And it's probably going to be difficult. Let's just say Senator Kerry gets a nomination. I mean, I know what the polls say now, but when they get out there and they start actually campaigning and stuff, it's going to be tough to beat President Bush, I think.
I would think so.
But maybe not.
Well, depending,
Maybe we find out they lied to us rather than just having stupid intelligence about this. Maybe that'll mean something, and maybe it won't.
Well, it would certainly mean something, I think, if we found out that we were lied to, blatantly, outright, with malice aforethought and all of that. Certainly it would.
Yeah. And I would say, I just want to use this opportunity is to offer some advice to our friend Deborah Norville. And
I saw that show last night. Go ahead.
That was a good show last night.
Come on.
Muggs. He killed Dennis Miller. He sucked. Unfunny, pasty little front-running, hair-plug-wearing doofus who's using 911 to resurrect his paltry career.
What's the matter, Cha-Cha?
What in the hell happened over there on that end of the dais? Deborah Norville had a good show. His show was horrible. Terrible. And he won't be able to punctuate all of his lame observations with the F word like he did, in his previous two cable shows. That's part of the problem. You know what I mean?
Well, no, but I don't understand this anger. This anger, this abject anger.
Because he's a phony. He's waving the flag after 911 just to, again, stepping on the souls, the backs of the dead people just to resurrect his career. He's a front runner. He's an opportunist.
He's right about all that.
Yeah, we hate those kind of people.
And he sucks.
He doesn't suck. He's very funny. Leave him alone. But I did see part of his show last night. It was troubling.
Okay.
Well,
you agree with me?
Well, it was not a laugh riot.
Well, it's the first show, and it needs to shake out.
Well, he said he has a lot of things to work out.
If he uses that gay marriage and terrorist example one more time, Jesus.
What is that? I missed that.
About how, well, I don't have any problem if gay people get married, but if the terrorists want to kill them, I do want to kill the terrorists before they kill the gay people.
I mean, if he said it once, he said it 100 times already. In every stupid interview he's ever given.
I like that. I like that position. I mean, you get to thinking about it.
No, I'm not for gay marriage. Absolutely not.
Oh,
Hey, where was this guy? Where was he when it was difficult to be a conservative?
Why?
10 years ago.
Why are you against
He's
gay
a
marriage?
front runner. I don't mind two people getting together, you know, close the door, do whatever you got to do. But just don't shove it down our throats, if you know what I'm saying.
I was actually surprised that Lieberman readily admitted that he was against gay marriage. You think that he's in a position now where he would take any vote he can get, fags or not, just take the votes.
No. I gotta go. Okay. Well, on that note, thank you all very much. We had fun. 10 minutes till young.
In the morning.
Excuse me. Went into a wreck. That.
Who said that? What show was enough? Yeah. And tonight she's going to have John Bon Jovi on. And Miss Bon Jovi is going to discuss how, because of all of these other areas he's involved in, he's going to give up music or something, which is fine with a lot of people. Me among them.
Set up that TiVo.
But I mean, and Deborah has got to. I mean, you can't have somebody book a guest who claims to be a friend of Martha Stewart's for 25 years, and have her sit down and tell you that she just had dinner with Martha, and that one of the things they don't do is discuss the trial or the situation she's in. When she says that, you say thanks very much, and coming up next is whomever. And there isn't any reason. Particularly the way Deborah Norville looks, and she's not a dope, by the way.
Well,
she can't start asking some tough questions.
Right.
She doesn't have to get crazy, but she doesn't turn into Tim Russert, but she needs to get an edge. If she doesn't get an edge, she's out of there. It's not going to work.
Lieberman factor.
Still head and shoulders better than that phony Dennis Miller. Condescending snooze fest. He practically had his tongue inside Arnold Schwarzenegger's ear the other night. How about some tough questions there? Genius.
Why do you delight in picking on someone who you know I like? Why is that?
Well, they go up against each other. The Miller couldn't carry Norville's jock.
Norville don't have a jock.
Or a thong or whatever.
Yeah. But, well, didn't Miller triple the ratings there? I mean, he needs to make some adjustments. He acknowledged himself, so.
Yeah, it was a novelty the first night. We'll see what happens, but. So, he gets killed in the papers this morning.
I understand that.
Yeah, this is not a good
But David B. and Cooley, who we like, sees hope there with a few minor fine-tuning adjustments. So, anyway, here's Chuck with the news. Good morning, Chuck.
Massachusetts Senator John Kerry, 2 for 2. Took New Hampshire a little over a week after taking Iowa, and he said he may start slow, but he knows how to finish.
I've said to people occasionally that I'm a good closer, but I think this victory really goes to the people of New Hampshire who listened carefully, who cared about this process, and who most importantly care about having somebody who can beat George Bush.
Kerry said he spoke with Howard Dean after he beat him. Kerry said Dean was gracious and that he appreciated getting the call from him. Dean, of course, finishing actually a rather distant second behind Kerry, with retired General Wesley Clark, North Carolina Senator John Edwards, third, and Connecticut Senator Joe Lieberman did not get out of single digits, coming in fifth place. Although
one of the lessons ought to be, too, by the way, for these people, is and particularly talking about Teresa Hines, is stop dressing up like a fruit peddler in Bucharest and lose the shawls. I mean, if we're don't do something that people like me are going to seize on.
Yeah, that calls our attention to
something. I mean, don't stick your head up above the. Right, just put on something that's reasonable. But going around with a serape on, look like you ought to be selling velvet pictures there. All this in Tijuana. I mean, it's just right. It just looks ridiculous.
On a taco stand.
I mean,
like a refugee.
I mean, it's just. I mean, you got to come. You got to come to your senses here.
$5, come on, $5.
I mean, that's just insane. What is that all about? And another thing you have to ask yourself, and I saw Governor Dean. I saw all their speeches. Wes Clark's a psychopath. Get him out. And Edwards is, it's like Colin Quinn said, or one of them, him or John Stewart, I can't remember which one. I think it was Colin Quinn. If he's doing a real estate seminar at 3 in the morning, I mean, you're going to buy into it. Because you can stay home and make $200 a week or whatever it is, or a day, or whatever the deal is. But he's not going to be president. Stop it. It's not going to happen. Get on. Stop the madness. And when they give, and I love Joe Lieberman, but I think fundamentally, I understand spin. I understand putting the best face on things. I understand that you're tired. You've been campaigning for 24 hours a day for who knows how long. And that it's late at night last night. You're in the room with all of your supporters and so on. But I mean, you can't be that delusional and think that we're going to put you in the Oval Office. I mean, you've got to come to your senses. At least this morning, you get a good night's rest or some sleep anyway. And you get up this morning, you're going to have some coffee there at the Holiday Inn and hold a press conference and say, you know, I thought about it, and this is absurd. I'm ruining my life. I'm not getting any sleep. I'm wasting money. And, you know, and I'm out of here. So I don't need to do this anymore. It's not going to happen. I recognize that. I mean, do you actually think, I mean, Governor Dean actually thinks, but I mean, and I like him a lot better than I think his wife is now. I think, but it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. Stop it.
I think you're right.
So, anyway, it's 13 after the hour. Bo Dietl's here. Bo's apparently sponsored by NetJets. So,
how you doing,
they did a great job flying us back to New York yesterday, as they always do.
Yeah, you got in right in between the weather.
We landed at noon at Teterboro.
That was smart to get in, and right in before the other weather started, the other front. I drove all the way from Albany yesterday. I was up there at the Capitol there with State Senator Balboni and Senator Surf Maltese, and they were having hearings about New York State importing drugs in from Canada.
Oh, God, stop it with all this.
Well, just tell you what we're doing. Let's talk about the election. Let's talk about Dean's wife. Last week. Let's talk. She looked like Bucky Beaver. I knew at that point.
Well, no.
I knew at that point
she's a
that
nice
he
lady.
was a loser. What do you like her for?
I think she's sweet.
She support her husband. The guy's running for president, putting his blood out there. She goes like this, well, I don't have time to glue it. I have a practice, and I got patience. Well, go with your patience. You got a husband there.
No.
Stand behind the guy. If she would have stood up for the guy a little bit, instead of standing like Bucky Beaver, well, I got my own patience.
That's not
She
good.
could play Alice in Wonderland.
This is not
Look
helpful.
at the teeth on her. She looks like Alice in Wonderland. She didn't stand by her man. Poor Dean was left out there by himself. He didn't know what to do, so he starts pumping his arm. This guy had a shot at one time, but when Bucky came out and said, I'm very busy with my people all over the place, I got my patience.
Stand with us and we will give America back its truth as a country where freedom really rings. A country of equal rights and civil liberties where the Attorney General is not named John Ashcroft.
One by one, they're turning out the light. I've been beating that old jukebox just to hold you tight. Guess it's for the best. I just put in my last dime. Heard you whisper we'd meet again, another place, another time.
imus in the morning.
LendingTree.com presents How to Get Out from a...
I came in, I looked at the sheet this morning. Actually, they faxed it to me in the evening over to the apartment. I see Craig Crawford, Chris Matthews, Jeff Greenfield, Bo, Brian Williams, and Paul Begala. And so I said to Bernie, how did Brian Williams get on? And of course, we like Brian Williams, and sure. But I wasn't sitting around the office or on the plane saying, get me Brian Williams for tomorrow morning. It's just, but we're happy to have him.
He was great last time he was on.
Yes, he was.
Fantastic.
So he was due to call at 7 minutes after 8 o'clock Eastern time, which is when you're booked for a specific time, then that's the one you're supposed to call.
Yeah.
So when he does the news, he doesn't show up late for that to do it. And of the probably 100 times that Brokaw's been on, has he ever called late? No, the answer is no. So Bigfoot Bowman, who handled this, by the way, this is his idea, not one of his deals, he informs Bernard that Williams was having cell phone problems, which is, I understand that happens. So, but if, I guarantee you, if he was scheduled to be on the Today Show, for example, he wouldn't have had any cell phone problems. He'd have figured something out.
It'd have been on a hard line, perhaps.
They would have worked it out. And it doesn't make any difference to me, and I know it doesn't make any difference to you, if we ever talk to Brian Williams again. Ever. He's a nice guy, and he's amusing, and he's going to be a good successor, an adequate successor to Brokaw.
We like him.
No. And here's how idiotic they are.
All right.
They think it's more important to be on the Today Show than it is on this show, and so there isn't any. You could talk to them for a million years, they wouldn't ever get it. So I don't know how many viewers the Today Show has. I know they don't have as many people watching that mess as who are listening to this program on the radio, and I've been talking about it for 10 years or 15, whatever. But there comes a point when there's no point in going on about it.
Run out of breath. It's exasperating.
So don't be on. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me. So.
My cousin learned the hard way, too, by the way. He rues the day he wanted to.
Idiot Norm Coleman.
That's right.
Who will never be on.
He rues the day. Because he loves the I-Man. He's going to be president of the United States one day.
He's not going to be president of anything.
Okay.
He's lucky he's a senator. If there hadn't been a plane wreck, he wouldn't be anything.
He better deal this for the Today Show.
Yeah, so.
Staying in front of a Titanic.
Please.
I mean, what is
He's talking about an opportunist.
What is he thinking about?
Yeah, what a...
Oh, a plane just went down. Here I am standing in front of a plane.
Remember that? Oh, yeah. Sure. Remember when poor Governor Callahan died in that... And then here your idiot cousin...
Wellstone. That was Wellstone.
Wellstone,
yeah.
Whatever. Well, whoever.
Yeah.
So
I just made a political thing on the show. I got it right.
And one of your idiot cousin decides to hold a press conference standing in front of a plane. I mean, you can't make up a... I mean...
You're on Mad
hello?
TV.
He's a smart guy. It was his people. His people set him up for that. Don't worry. People lost their jobs that day.
Why doesn't he just turn around and look?
Like Kerry's people. Kerry's people almost screwed him over, and John had to take care of himself.
I think Brian Williams is right. I'm not Brian Williams. I think Chris Matthews is right. Although this has happened time and again with this guy who works for John Kerry. Now, whether Kerry thinks that, and Kerry's known me for years, so knows the program. So he knows that once I get irritated, then it just gets uglier and uglier and uglier.
It festers and grows.
And then the aide is on the phone hysterical with Lou, right, Lou?
You should have heard
How can they shut me up? I got the guy from Vietnam falling in the hotel pool with Kerry trying to drag him out of there.
Wife sounding like a Nazi.
I got his wife in a guard tower at Auschwitz. I mean, you know, and it's going to get worse.
Senator Kerry would like to come on right now. Would he come on right now? Can he come on the next 5 minutes? Can he talk right now?
And everybody knows what's going to happen. And they can, but so Matthew's point was that he thinks that who's the guy who works for Kerry that
is Dag Vega something.
Whatever his name is.
Right, whatever.
So it's Chris's point, it's Chris's contention that Dag the dope is simply reflecting what. Now I know here's the way I run my office. I'm not comparing it to the way a senator runs for president. However, they ask me everything. They don't ever say no without asking me. So if they tell you no, it comes from me. And so you have to assume that that's the way everybody runs their office. But Kerry claims that that's not the case. What do we suspect is the real story? Is Chris right or?
Maybe a combination.
Yeah.
You know, they conspired and they wanted to make it seem like it was the staff. Well,
Right.
That's a possibility.
Chris
but who knows?
cites his own history in that area.
Exactly. So
Either way, just be honest.
Exactly.
just say
Exactly.
we're going to win the New Hampshire primary. We'd rather not take the chance of having that crazy bastard Imus ruin it for us. That's all.
We love you. We'll be on.
We'll love you. We'll be on after we have this thing locked up.
We'll see you in the Oval Office in the next March.
And I understand that 100%. So, but what happened yesterday was it got so bad that they had to stop it. They had to stop the madness.
Yeah.
Because it was just going to get crazy.
That they were bleeding and had to stop it. It's absolutely.
I don't get it.
It's a misunderstanding. He can come on right now. He can come on right now. The whole thing's a misunderstanding. We don't know what happened.
Yeah.
It's 27 after the hour. Paul Begala, who I guarantee you will be on the phone, is coming up.
Now is the
Crossfire.
Does he show up 4 or 5 minutes late for that?
Of course not.
He usually seems to be on time.
That no one watches. But it's on like at 3 in the morning, isn't it? Or
4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. So.
Here we go.
You can't make it up. You can't make it up, can you?
No.
And we've been so loyal to Begala over the years. I mean, people hate Begala. Like Carville, they love Carville because Carville's colorful, but Begala's just
a schlub.
Yeah, I mean, I happen to like Begala, but I mean, that's just pointless.
He does engender a bitter reaction among a lot of people.
Yeah, so.
But maybe he's holed up with in Dennis Kucinich's hotel room with his mouth full or something. Who knows?
Here's Chuck with the news. Good morning, Charles.
It could be. You never know. Old Joe Lieberman is not calling it a disappointing finish in the New Hampshire primary, having come in fifth. He is describing his 9% showing as a close three-way race for third, with Wesley Clark and John Edwards, both of whom finished at 12%, and Senator Lieberman at 9%. Lieberman's strategist says donations are still coming in. Everything's good clip. So it's...
He would make more money if he got bar mitzvahed again.
The campaign is running television ads in the 7 states whose primaries are next week. He's heading to one of them today. He's going out to Oklahoma, I'm. So, you know, it's onward and upward for Senator
Better off to
Lieberman.
go to Houston. Try to get on with Mike and Chris. Talk about the Super Bowl.
You're having a lot of problems out of it, Joe, haven't you? Coming in last is not good.
What, does anybody, by the way, care about the Super Bowl?
It is coming up, but you just don't even, you know, they had their big, didn't they have their big media day yesterday, Louis?
I mean, the New England Patriots are...
Yeah, media day.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No one cares.
The Patriots are so clearly going to win that why bother?
Nobody's playing.
I mean, I realize.
Sid Rosenberg.
They played a perfect game, the Carolina Panthers, as Eddie Scazzeri tried to tell me.
Yeah.
But then he told me something about special teams, at which point I was hoping he would have a diabetic coma. Lapse into one.
Zoned out.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Sid Rosenberg's in the studio. Nice of you to drop by the show this morning, Sid.
I've been here the whole time. I've been waiting for Brian Williams and Paul Begala and all the boys to come on.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously hasn't gone that route now, has it?
No. And then Bo left, so we don't even have that.
We got nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I got this for you. You know, at the Super Bowl, they have what's called Media Day.
Mm-hmm.
And they take all the football players aside, and they ask them lots of difficult questions. I guess every once in a while they try to embarrass these guys. Now, Troy Brown is a wide receiver for the New England Patriots, and the New England Patriots play football in what state? What state do the New England Patriots play their football in?
One of the New England states.
Massachusetts. All right, I'll play Ed McMahon.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was a question posed to Troy Brown yesterday. Remember, he plays his games in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Let me play this for you. This is how it went yesterday at Media Day. Troy Brown of the New England Patriots.
Massachusetts. M-A-S-S-U-C. I misspelled it. Man. Edit that part out.
Like Shaq. Remember that? P-E-R-I-D.
Oh, boy.
What a shot.
You spell it for me, Sid.
Massachusetts?
Yeah.
M-A-S-S-A-C-H-U-S-E.
No.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, he's right. So far he's okay.
Okay, he's good. Hello?
I'm all right.
Did it back up again?
Brown in the morning.
M-A-S-S-A-C-H-U-S-E-T-S.
No, you missed one T.
Two T's.
Two T's.
Not terrible, though.
No, pretty good.
A little better than Troy Brown, wouldn't you say?
Better.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He was going slow, too.
Just missed the T, right?
Yeah, he just missed. Drop the T.
Well, that's fine. That's close enough.
Yeah.
It's still wrong.
Well, listen, it's a tough word, you know what I'm saying? But I don't play my football in New England. I live in New York. If you ask me to spell New York, you can get that in 1 second, right?
Wyatt can spell New York.
You can?
Yeah.
Well, you stopped me when I was in Massachusetts. How were you going to spell it?
Oh, I misheard you. I thought you left an E out, but the E was next.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
What else going on?
Also, we talked earlier about the Cleveland Indians pitcher.
Where are Mike and Chris, by the way? I watched them a little bit on...
They're in Houston.
Yeah, no, I was on a treadmill, and I watched them on 622 on the satellite, and they looked like somebody had painted FAN and the Yes Television Network on a sheet,
Yeah.
and hung it up in a utility closet.
With a spray can? You mean,
I mean, it's just
The set is not very impressive, is it?
no, it's not. I mean,
room somewhere.
really, it's not.
You need a little towel with that if you
And they
wash
had
your
that-
hands.
And they turned it on, and they had that hideous, lying little phony Bob Costas on.
Oh, they had Bob on, yeah.
And I thought, man, you couldn't. Well, obviously I
At least
switched
he's not
it.
full of himself.
So I switched it. Oh my God!
Not
Yeah.
too arrogant
It
at all.
didn't hold the Iman's interest?
No.
What a little punk.
Well, how did they act with him? With Mike and Chris, were they...
I didn't watch.
Oh, you just shut it off right
No,
away?
no.
Yeah.
I went back to election stuff.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of that stuff myself yesterday. Very entertaining stuff.
That's right.
The Cleveland Indians pitcher, he was in a gay porn, man. His name is Kazuhito Tadano.
I'm surprised this is not something you've seen dialed up on a hotel you've been to. What did he do? He's a pitcher, but was he pitching in the video?
No.
Or as Charles said earlier, catching.
Like Bernie said, he's a utility player. He could do a little bit of both, right?
Well, I don't know.
We don't know exactly what he was doing. He has not come out with the exact details. But he does readily admit that he was in a gay porn, and he apologizes for it. But here's what I don't understand.
What is he apologizing for? That he was in it?
Yeah, that he was in it, yeah.
Or that he got caught?
Probably the second part.
Yeah.
But here's the part that he says I just don't get. He goes, through an interpreter, Tadano added, I'm not gay. I'd like to clear that fact up right now. Let me tell you something right now, okay? You're in a video like that. You're taking it in the backside. You're gay. There's no other way to put it. You're absolutely gay. Don't give me this bisexual. It was a one-time thing. If you are willing, even one time.
Fine, I think we have to go any further than that. We know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You tend to agree with me, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. When you go there one time, you're definitely
Well,
gay.
sure. I mean,
Yeah.
if you get yourself in a position where somebody even says to you, hey, how would you like to be in a gay video? You've already pretty much demonstrated where you're coming from.
And particularly if you say, oh, okay.
I mean, for example, nobody's ever, in all the, going back 30 years, nobody ever asked me that. So.
To be in a gay video?
Oh, yeah, or any other kind, so.
Never.
No. So.
How much money would it take for the I-Man to be in a back in the 30 years ago, before you made all this money, you were the legendary the I-Man, how much money would it take to get you into a gay video?
Well, there was no amount.
Really? You wouldn't do it?
No.
You might have been in some and you don't even know.
Bro, I haven't surfaced.
You got a lot of lights here, bro. What's going on? What is that strap thing there? All right. How long is it going to take?
Are you a John Bon Jovi fan?
I love John Bon Jovi.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do. Love him. I think the band is great. They've been around for almost 20 years now. And from the very first couple of songs, even though the new stuff, they're great. Absolutely great.
Is he any good or?
As a musician?
Yeah, singer.
He's great. He's a great singer.
Oh, okay.
And don't forget, he's got...
He seems, by the way, he seems like a very nice guy. I don't know him, but...
Richie Sambora is also in the band, who's married to Heather Locklear.
I do like Richie.
Yeah, they're
I don't know
great.
what he does, but...
He's a guitarist.
He's like the guy from Aerosmith.
Which guy is that? Not Steven Tyler, obviously.
No, the other guy.
Joe Perry.
Yes,
Joe Perry.
exactly right. That's exactly who he's like. But why'd you mention Bon Jovi? What's
Because he's going to be on with Deborah Norville tonight. And I guess, doesn't he own some indoor football team?
He owns the Philadelphia team in the Arena Football League. Brand new team.
Right.
Brand new. And there's a movie coming out. Not a movie, but there's a clip you'll see in movie theaters with him and John Elway promoting the Arena Football League. And it's Bon Jovi, because Elway owns the Colorado team, Bon Jovi owns the Philadelphia team.
Right.
And they do like a little 4 or 5 minute clip, which is actually kind of cute.
They run commercials already about it, where they play.
Oh, they did it already on TV?
They play it to Bon Jovi's,
Exactly, this house.
reportedly his home.
Right.
It is really stupid. Tedious. Yeah. Oh, my God. But he seems all right, Bon Jovi.
Oh, he's great. One of the great bands.
But, well, it's not anything that's on my iPod.
No?
But maybe I'm making a mistake.
Living on a Prayer?
Maybe I'm making a mistake.
Oh, I think you are.
Yeah. Put out some good albums.
Yeah, Living on a Prayer.
All right, well, okay.
Absolutely.
Well, he's talking about not doing it anymore. Is that a problem?
Yeah, I didn't even know he was thinking about retiring. That's terrible. Yeah, I love Bon Jovi. Why would he retire? What else is he going to do?
Well, I don't know.
Isn't it a new record in 15 years, right?
I don't know.
No, he had the record last year. Actually, pretty good.
He looks a little strange to me. He looks like...
It looks like they might be teaming up with that pitcher from...
He sort of looks like Ellen DeGeneres, or somebody that Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, it looks like that a little bit.
He does look a little
Yeah.
like Ellen.
Well, he's a pretty boy. You know what
cute.
I'm saying?
Yes, he is.
Pretty
Well,
boy.
that's fine.
Yeah, but he's a very masculine guy. He's a big football fan. Had season tickets to the Giants for 100 years. Owns a football team. Rock star. You know. Prettiest girls in the country.
If you had to, pop him in the poop, somebody in the poop.
You know who's a big fan of the I-Man?
I know millions of people, but I'm not exactly sure who you're going. Anyway.
Action hero.
Action hero, who's a big fan of the I-Man.
No.
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel, is that right?
No, bigger than that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
As big.
Stop whining.
As big.
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Hugh Grant.
Bigger.
Sly.
Yeah.
Really?
Sly Stone.
Oh, he loves you.
Stallone.
Yeah, I know. He's dying to come on the show. He wanted to promote Rocky 6.
Right.
Got Rocky 6 coming out, but
That's not going to happen.
not going to happen. No.
They're fighting wheelchairs? Get out of here.
No.
We're still doing it, Rock.
You know,
He's still gonna murder you, Rock.
Dead.
you know what's interesting about him?
What's that?
Put you right up.
He was a guy. He was hanging around Hollywood doing something, and he had this screenplay. Do you know the story?
Yeah.
No.
So he had this screenplay for Rocky. He's not a dope, you know.
Rocky 1?
Yes, the first one.
Okay.
So, and he couldn't get anybody interested in it, and couldn't get anybody to make it. And something happened, and he talked whoever did the first film, he talked them into doing the movie with him in it.
Okay. It was Erwin Winkler, I think, and those guys.
Whomever, but
Okay.
Well, even before that, he had the rumors. Let's just say, alleged. He was involved in gay porno.
No, he wasn't gay. No, I saw the porno movie.
Was
It was
porno?
actually
Just porno?
Yeah, just porno, not
porn,
gay porno.
yeah.
I saw the porno.
I'm just saying there were rumors. I never saw it.
No, I saw the movie. Yeah, it was like kind of soft porn, but it was good.
Okay.
It was good.
Okay.
which is a good story in that. I point out that he can write. He is a writer and he can write.
Right.
And you probably think he's a dope, but
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
But it reminds me of like when you talk about. I don't know whether we should be so dismissive of you.
Yeah.
When you talk about being, you have these delusions of grandeur, for it's a trite way to put it, but.
About being in movies and stuff?
Oh, whatever. But of course you don't have a script, you don't have a good idea, and you don't look like Sly. So.
And you can't spell Massachusetts.
No. In fact, what Sly can, by the way.
But here you go, Hollywood.
No.
That he did indeed get his first movie acting start in a porn movie entitled Party at Kitty and Studs.
Yeah, it was good. It's a pretty good movie. No interracial, but you got to get by that. He was in The Lords of Flatbush as well, of course, with Henry Winkler, which was a great movie filmed in Brooklyn, New York.
Right.
Which you may remember.
Good movie.
Yeah, very good movie.
Good movie.
Before Rocky, but yeah, that was his first film.
Yeah, came out in '70 when Sly was living in Hell's Kitchen here in New York.
Yeah, but the rumors are out.
Ordinarily, I know, like with Stern or some of these other people, whenever they hear that somebody is a big fan of theirs, they want to get them on the program, and it has the opposite effect with me, particularly because I know I know there are a number of famous people who like me, but I would rather that they just kept it to themselves. For example, you know who Gay Talese is?
Gay Talese?
Yeah.
No, I have no idea who that is.
Well, he's a fairly famous writer.
Oh, okay. All right. I know that.
I mean, he's up there with the Halberstam's and those people, wouldn't you think, Charles? And
I think that's
Gore
fair.
Vidal and
that's
those
fair.
people. He's of that.
Yeah. Yes.
He's in that league.
Mario Puzo? That type of
Yes.
league? Okay.
Mhm.
John Steinbeck?
No.
Jack London?
That's probably pushing it a little.
About all the authors I can mention.
Gore Vidal.
Still alive.
Was perfect.
Okay.
Gore Vidal.
Yeah. He writes, Don, I must say, get up, switch to channel 43, and begin my day in silent partnership with your confrontational and thought-provoking tug of war with our times, which is a great sentence.
That is phenomenal. Very well written.
But the problem is that in sending the note, he also sent a book of his, The Gay Talese Reader, Portraits and Encounters, and which diminished the impact of the note.
Sure. Because he had an agenda. He wants you to read his book. It just wasn't a nice note to tell the young man how much he loved him. He wants now he wants you to promote the book.
Yeah.
I understand that. Sure.
Plus, how do you take a guy seriously with that name?
It's a fair point.
Right.
Who the hell names that kid Gay? What the
You
hell
know,
is that?
his brother Fudge Packer there?
No. That's not where we wanted this to go. Oh, here's Ray.
Looking out
It's not
on the
Ray.
morning rain.
It's Aretha, somebody.
I used to feel so uninspired. And when I knew I had to face another day, Lord, it made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind.
Jr. from...
And he just didn't think it was important enough to make precautions or to make arrangements to ensure that he was able to appear at his appointed time. And so that's what she would have done were it, say, the Today Show or something else. So if in his judgment this program is not as important as that, then the next time somebody asks him to be on, he should just simply say no.
Right. Save himself the...
Because he's not doing us any favors because we don't care. Now, Paul Begala, the very loyal to the I-Man, that would be me, by the way, and he claims now he was supposed to call at 8:29 Eastern Time, and he didn't make it either. But he claims he was on an airplane, and that he was precluded from being able to contact us because of the delay in landing as a result of the aforementioned snowstorm. And Charles's instant gut response was, "That's acceptable." And then we both said to each other, me and Charles, that obviously the bad little bastard is lying. So, but first of all, they have a phone right next to your seat. Well, maybe he wasn't on the I-Jet, but whatever he was on, they have phones on these planes. So, use one of those.
He claims he was sitting right across from James Carville, who could back up his story.
Oh, another liar. Another liar.
No, Carville's not a liar.
No.
Neither is Begala, by the way.
No, he was on an airplane. There's no question about it. He told us yesterday he'd be on a plane and was landing, and he'd phone in.
But
and there was a humongous storm overnight.
In his defense, hundreds of flights have been affected in and out of the greater New York area.
Well, we knew yesterday morning, if you've ever watched the Weather Channel,
yep,
we knew that there was going to be a humongous storm, which is why we got on the I-Jet.
And made adjustments.
And flew back to New York as quickly as possible.
Well, some of us did. Some of us decided instead to drive for 5.5 hours.
Made it back. I'm here.
Yeah. Well, Charles has a... whatever. He had to drive.
But it's great about the way the I-Man rolls with these sorts of... this adversary...
adversary?
Yes.
Well, happy adversary.
That's the I-Man strategery.
Right, exactly.
I'm in agreement with Bernard.
Yeah, I'm in agreement on the adversity.
He takes it so well.
So anyway, but we're going to cut Begala some slack, only because we probably asked him to be on. I'm sure we did.
Of course.
Yeah. And so why would... You probably wonder... by the way, I did say to Bernard this morning, I do like Senator Kerry a lot, and I did pledge my support to him in the primary in New Hampshire and in Iowa, but at this point, in spite of my misgivings about the war and all of these other things, and some of the people who surround the president, who I think are jerks, like Dick Cheney and Rumsfeld and a couple of others. So it's going to be very difficult for me. No bananas? Okay, thanks. It's going to be difficult for me not to vote for the president at this point. So, but,
well, what will your decision be based on?
When it comes time?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just have to see. I think in October when they produce Osama bin Laden, find him in a cave somewhere, or where he is now, on a dialysis machine, you know.
Or he may simply be, on ice at Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, they're providing him with the medical coverage that 40 million Americans don't have. So, at any rate, we'll just have to see.
The polling will have no influence on you.
Oh, no. He's not affected by polls.
No, you can't trust those things anyway.
Sure.
11 minutes after the hour, so. Well, when will we hear from Begala?
We'll have him on tomorrow.
Why? No, my muffin now. Drink some more coffee, by the way.
Well, why not? He'll assess the situation as he was going to do this morning.
What do you think, Charles?
I think it's a good idea. I'd like to hear his perspective. Can't predict what Mr. Begala might have to say.
What?
He's always a surprise.
Who's his dog in this race?
I don't think he's revealed that just yet.
Got to be Clark, right?
I'm not sure. Who knows?
Drag it
Anybody but Bush.
Yep.
Well, whoever can beat him. Electability, all that crap.
That's true.
How about Channel 2 using the,
More.
yeah.
Yeah, Porn Star. It's great. I used to love that song, by the way.
I'm sure you did.
How do you like it? How do you like it? More. Yeah, it's a good song. Yeah.
So,
Good job at Channel. Talking about Channel 2, by the way, congratulations in order for Channel 4 here locally in New York, where Len Berman was once again voted the Sportscaster of the Year for the year 2003. He's now won that award 5 times.
No.
Who the hell does he go up against?
Whoopi.
I know. Just Warner, that's it? He keeps beating Warner every single time?
Come on, Warner's got to win that.
Well, you got Channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people.
Well, I can't name anybody else in New York on who does sports outside of Warner Wolf and Len Berman.
What does doing sports mean? You read the
how about
scores.
Scott,
You got Russ Salzberg.
Oh, Scott Clark. You're right. That's another guy. Yeah.
Russ? Don't you like Scott Clark?
I like Scott Clark. I just don't know how you give a guy an award for doing the broadcast on doing on the news. It's ridiculous. They just read a teleprompter and read the scores for you.
Yeah, he's, Len Berman could be one of the biggest phonies on the planet, by the way.
You don't like Len Berman.
Oh.
Well, you got a nickname for Len Berman, right?
Linear Joe. Which is that? Boner knows. Ben Boner. Remember how upset he got with me?
Yes, I do.
He's got a real nice sense of humor.
Yeah. But he's an awful human being.
Really?
Oh, he's not
Humorless.
Didn't handle a situation when he worked here well at all.
Well, he was here. Was he before Lupica or after Lupica? He tried the slot that I do now with Jody. He had the 10-to-1 slot for a little while. He was terrible, by the way. Just terrible.
Yeah. Well, they were supposed to go together.
Yeah, but didn't they split up for a little while also?
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
No.
They were fighting for the power seat in there.
Some fight.
Then Berman wanted Lupica to sit on his lap, and things fell apart after that.
It's like Charlie McCarthy.
In Lupica's case, it was a booster seat. I know that worked out. So I was going to say to Deidre, we have to figure out what we're going to do Sundays because the Super Bowl starts at like a little after 6 o'clock, around 6:20.
Well, the game does, but don't forget the pregame coverage begins about 2 p.m., I imagine. So.
About 10 in the morning.
So if you're going to have a Super Bowl party for your guests, obviously, you should really begin the festivities well before kickoff.
Right.
So what time does the party start at the...
Ordinarily, that would be the time I would be coming back to Manhattan from Connecticut.
Right.
So the decision has to be made. Do we come back early, or do we stay and watch the game, and that isn't until 10 o'clock?
About that, yes.
And Wyatt has to go to school.
Right.
How are you going to handle all of that?
So there's not going to be a Super Bowl party per se at the I-Man's house.
I don't know. I'll ask her how we're going to handle it, and that's how we'll handle it.
Okay.
So.
I mean, you already got the salsa and the chips and all that stuff ready to go. Think about it.
No.
There's your party right there. You call me, you call Bernie, you call Chuck, Lou, and come over.
We're there.
You know?
Sure. A couple of pizzas?
Yeah. A couple of beers.
six-packs?
Yeah.
It's a quarter after the hour.
Biggest loss that we've suffered under George Bush is not the 2.9 million jobs that have disappeared since he's been president. And it's not the loss of our moral leadership in the world, where a majority of people in most countries don't respect us anymore. The biggest loss that we've suffered in this country since George Bush has been president is our loss of our sense of community.
This lunch break is gonna take all afternoon, half the night. Tomorrow morning, I know there'll be hell to pay. Hey, but that's alright. I ain't had a day off now in over a year. My Jamaican vacation's gonna start right here. At a moment like this, I can't help but wonder, what would Jimmy Buffett do? Funny you should ask, Alan. I'd say, oh, there's something tall and strong. They did a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. You don't care. I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Imus in the morning.
A photo from it.
Yep.
And Pat, what's the Super Bowl? He's probably up late. He's going out for a run.
You can imagine Pat, probably staying at the Four Seasons there in Houston. He has clips all over the place, material if I'm on against somebody from Newsweek, material if I'm on against somebody from Time. He's got it all plotted out. Top 10 defenses against Access Hollywood, right there if he needs it.
The X's and O's all
Gratuitous Super Bowl jokes. I need those.
So how are you?
I'm doing well.
They must be real happy around the White House with David Kaye, huh?
Well, you know, the way they're handling this is to sort of, in a way, pretend like it's not happening. I mean, on the one hand, they refuse to answer the major question, which is, how is it that the intelligence was so far off from the reality on the ground? And the reason they don't want to answer that is because it's politically troubling for them. And secondly, because they really don't want to come right out and say it was the CIA's fault. They don't want to pick another fight with the CIA, which was so uncomfortable for them over the summer when they had to deal with the uranium claims in Niger. At the same time, they're facing questions about whether or not ultimately the administration is responsible for what the intelligence community concludes if they're going to go to war based on that intelligence. And on the other hand, they're saying that David Kaye is making their points for them. That he's saying that Iraq was perhaps more dangerous than we realized in the past couple of years because Saddam was essentially out of control and it was corrupt and it became sort of something of an arms bazaar there. So they believe it's cutting both ways, but it's bringing to the foreground a very difficult political issue for them at a time when they were sort of counting on most Americans supporting the war, especially after the capture of Saddam.
Do you know how much money we spend on intelligence?
I don't know the exact figure. I know it's a lot.
$30 billion.
Uh-huh.
And you know what most of it's been spent on at the CIA? Apparently, George Tenet has spent it getting something on the president because that's the only reason he's keeping his job. I mean, what is that all about? Why can't they get rid of this guy? He's a disaster. Don't you agree?
No, I'm not going to wade into that. The president certainly stands by him, but you have to wonder two things. One, whether or not the intelligence community should be held to task for this, but also two, I think it's a fair question to ask about what role the administration, the national security team, plays as well. I mean, there have been accusations about whether they misread the intelligence, whether they were reading into the intelligence what they wanted to see. Don't forget, in this national intelligence estimate that is so often referred to, and some of which has been declassified, the claims particularly about Saddam Hussein being able to develop a nuclear weapon within a decade was challenged by a different arm of the intelligence community at the State Department, which made the case that they didn't see any particular evidence to suggest that he was that far along in his nuclear program. And indeed, David Kaye has found that to be true. And instead, what the administration, they won't answer directly the fact that the intelligence is not borne out by reality. They're sticking to the line that, look, this was a bad guy and he could have done bad things, and that's essentially good enough.
You know, Maureen Dowd, who is kind of back in form now, and I'm happy to report that. But have you read her this morning?
Yeah, I haven't gotten all the way through it, but I started it as I was on hold there.
What, did you hit some words that were hard or what?
Yeah, I had to grab the dictionary a couple of times.
Well, her point is that both the President and Saddam Hussein were deluded, apparently, by these underlings who, in Iraq, they're telling old Saddam, he's busy writing these romance novels, all probably jacked up about that, probably getting pretty hot, actually. And they made him believe he had this weapons program. And apparently the same thing happened to the president. I mean, it sounds bizarre, but she could probably be right, couldn't she?
Well, I think that there's a question about what we knew about his weapons programs. At the end of the Gulf War, a lot of people in the administration said, the intelligence community was surprised about how far along his weapons program was at that point, and they didn't want to be surprised again. But what David Kaye has found is that many of those programs were essentially derailed during the 90s, which raises the question about containment of Saddam, which was the administration's policy, of course, prior to 9/11. They were just as happy, at least for the moment, to maintain no-fly zones and general containment. But it raises the question about whether aggressive inspections by the United Nations were simply enough to keep him in his box and to keep those programs derailed. The point that the president makes is that it's not good enough. If you got somebody who's a bad guy, who's used unconventional weapons before, as Saddam Hussein did, and who has the desire and at some level the capacity to build up his arsenal. You just don't want to let that keep going forward. You don't want somebody like that who's unhinged to keep moving forward.
Well, then why didn't he say that? Instead of having that lying little pink skunk Dick Cheney go on Tim Russert and try to tell us about all these weapons that were there and run that Al-Qaeda connection up the flagpole. Why didn't they just say what they're saying now? I mean, you know what's troubling about this is there's two things that happen. We spent $30 billion on intelligence that was either so grotesquely wrong that we wound up, losing, to this point, 500 kids, or somebody in the administration all the way up to the Oval Office lied to us and knew better and lied to us. Maybe the intelligence wasn't so bad.
Well, I think it's the question that they won't answer, which is why didn't they
make them answer?
Well, I've tried. I mean, I asked the question directly to the president the other day about whether he thinks that the American people deserve an explanation for why
what did he say?
The intelligence is so far off from the reality, and he simply said that he believed then and believes now that Saddam was a gathering threat. And what he means by that is that he had weapons sometime in the past.
Well,
he defied. I mean, here's the other question. A lot of people in the administration say, look, if he didn't have any weapons, he had, and this is true, he had ample time to demonstrate that he was clean. The UN inspectors were there, especially after Resolution 1441. The U.S. was breathing down their neck. But, I mean, it was clear that Saddam Hussein was never going to cooperate. It was clear that, apparently, he was completely delusional. He's writing romance novels and sending them to Tariq Aziz in the immediate run-up to the war. I mean, this was not a guy who had a real firm hold on reality. So
wait a minute. He was sending these romance novels to Tariq?
Apparently so.
He was?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't even want to hear any more about that.
No, that's enough.
That's enough of that.
Jeez, move on.
I mean, he was writing novels, sending transcripts. I mean, in manuscripts. He was not involved in running his country. So the idea that he was going to bend to the will of the United States was probably just not going to happen. So that doesn't mean that. But the reality is that he did. He did choose defiance. He defied the United States. He defied those UN resolutions. So it was impossible to know. He certainly acted like a guy who was hiding something.
Do you think has anybody around the White House expressed any feelings about John Kerry, who, if you had to guess today, of course, a lot can change, as we all know. If you had to guess today, he'd be the nominee.
Well, obviously they think he's a different kind of candidate than Howard Dean. I mean, they can't run against him the same way they would run against Dean and paint him into a corner as being an unabashed liberal. But they're certainly going to try. They're obviously digging up his voting record. There's no doubt there's an interesting piece this week. I don't know if you've seen it in the New Republic. By a former Boston Globe reporter who covered Kerry's campaign against Wells in 1996 and who's gotten a copy of all the opposition research that Wells had against Kerry. And he lays out a lot of the evidence that no doubt Karl Rove already has in his binder to use against Kerry, that goes back to his time as lieutenant governor under Michael Dukakis, that goes to his Senate voting record on issues of criminal justice.
It's almost identical to Al Gore's, incidentally.
Well, yeah, I don't know if that's exactly the case.
Well,
I mean,
close enough. It's close enough for.
Well, but for instance, Kerry at that time didn't support the death penalty for foreign terrorists, but now he's changed that position, saying that 9/11, sort of changed it.
It changed the country. It changed the world. He's got a right to change his mind. We're on the Kerry bandwagon, by the way.
No, yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. Well, you've been with him since the start. I mean, because you make a choice early on principle, on your sense of moral clarity in the country, and then you just stay with that.
That is just absurd.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
By the way, what time is the event tonight?
7 o'clock.
No, the prom.
The what?
What? Oh, it's just that you came to work dressed today as if you were going to your prom tonight, and I just wondered what time it was.
No, I'm going to a memorial service for the late Jerry Nachman. Charles and I are.
That wasn't what I was referring to.
No, but now you're sorry you really went there, aren't you?
No, I wasn't.
No, our friend Jerry Nachman died. We're going to a memorial service for him.
No, I didn't.
Butt face.
You were just wearing black tie, which I thought was.
Oh, man. When you're in a hole, just stop, stop digging.
Hand me the shovel. And just dig it from here.
Stop it now.
Just say thanks, Don, and I'll see you down the road.
We'll move on.
Yeah. David
Anything else you want to cover?
No. David Gregory, the White House correspondent from NBC News.
If you read the total body of intelligence in the last 12 to 15 years that flowed on Iraq, I quite frankly think it would be hard to come to a conclusion other than Iraq was a gathering, serious threat to the world with regard to WMD.
Yo, mic check. Woo. Testing. 1, 2, 12. What up, what up?
Imus in the morning.
No.
Didn't send Jody and Sid down to the Super Bowl to report as you did Mike and Chris. And before you answer that, let me just say this: that what it says to me, Charles, and all of our listeners throughout this whole tri-state area, is that Sid and Jody are left sitting here in New York talking to some schmuck from the Bronx about who's going to play third base for the Yankees, and they therefore have zero credibility.
Somebody's got to do it.
Well, no, they don't. Not Super Bowl week, they don't.
Well, I don't need to have the whole radio station down there. I have one show down there in the afternoon.
Well, why wouldn't be? But why wouldn't it make sense?
Historically, I have sent them there every year, and they do. I get bang for my buck. I got 5.5 hours of Super Bowl show.
That's not a good enough answer.
I love Mac and Sid. They're great. They're wonderful. You shouldn't think any less of them.
Please let me talk, shrimp boat.
Cheese lips. Let the I-man speak.
How many days have you run in a row, by the way?
23 or 4.
When are you going to catch up to me?
You know, Mark has run. This is, of course, this is troubling.
This sounds like we're making it up, and not.
He has run every day. When I say every day, I mean every day, an average of 4 miles for over 13 years.
That's correct. That's correct.
I now have logged 23 or 4 days. I once ran.
That's great.
381 days consecutively, but. Anyway, back to, don't try to...
Hey, I got one more story. Remember the guy who showed you the picture the other day from the New Haven Coliseum?
Yeah.
From 1973. What drugs were you on back then?
Whatever was available.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
that was
fine.
quite a picture of you.
Stop trying to...
Your poofy hair.
I gotta
oh, my
quit
God.
Changing the subject.
Quit trying to distract me here. So, how come we didn't send Sid and Jody to the Super Bowl? Now, don't say we've always done it this way or whatever.
Well, when a local team is in there, we send as many people as we can from the radio station. We send Mike and the Mad Dog down when there's not a local team at the Super Bowl.
It's a big diss for Sid and Jody.
No, it's not.
Sid and Sid.
It's a huge diss.
Sid showed me something last year. I really want to send him down there.
Oh, by the way.
Oh, excuse me. I'm going to send Sid down there. I'll do shows. And guess what? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Hold on a second.
No, let me talk. Last year you went down there, you got drunk.
Right.
And you called in sick and you couldn't do a show from there.
Correct.
Yeah, but
some weekend show.
Wait a second. I paid my own way down there last year, so if I wanted to get hammered and not show up, that's up to me. I paid my own way.
No, but
I wasn't saying it Houstonian on Joel Hollander's ass.
You're right, but don't then agree. Don't agree to do a show and then bail out, regardless of how you got there.
I was browbeat into. They beat me into doing it. I didn't agree. I didn't want to do it in the first place. I went down there to party.
It would have been Jody Mack by himself.
Did you agree to do it?
Well, yeah, after a while, because I'm not going to argue with you.
Oh, what do you mean after a while?
That'll be fine.
This is, quote, Sid begging and pleading.
29 after the hour here on the Imus Morning program. Please welcome to the Imus Morning program the former assistant to President Clinton and partner of our friend James Carville, and they handled the election of Bill Clinton and got him elected. And now he hosts a show on CNN called Crossfire that's on, I'm not quite sure, 4:30 in the afternoon, I believe.
I think so.
Our old friend, Paul Bagala. Good morning, Mr. Bagala.
Good morning, Mr. Imus. Crossfire is on 4:30 Eastern. We're looking forward to your appearance there because
I think I agree with their reasoning.
Which is what?
They got the A-team there.
They have the A-team there. What's the point in having a junior varsity go down there?
Well, because it's good radio. When like yesterday, Mike and Chris had Deion Sanders and Brett Favre and all these great guests, and we'd be getting those types of guests all day long.
Probably.
Well, you could get them from here.
Well, you can't get them from here because we don't have somebody there walking Radio Row like Colin and Malusis do for Mike and the Mad Dog. So we can't get them here. So we're screwed. Like you said, we gotta talk to a bunch of retards talking about who's gonna play third base for the Yankees this year.
We're not using that word anymore.
Mental
patients.
Whatever.
Like you said, what do you think the players are anyway?
Yeah, exactly. What the hell's the difference? But look, you know what? This place is like every other place. It's funny because Mike and Chris go on the radio when they're killing Jason Kidd because he's killing Byron Scott, and the superstar shouldn't run the team. It should be the coach. Yet this place is just like the Nets. Superstars run the team. You know, and then you got the bench players, the guys that come off the bench and do a good job.
What do you think Mike and Chris run?
Oh, Mike and Chris run this place. And you?
Get the hell out of here. Mike and Chris. Mike and Chris. Jesus, God, that's a joke. Mike and Chris are lucky they're working. Jesus. They run in their mouths. Run in their fat mouths. Here's a message from Bob Thomas Ford in Hammond, Connecticut. Pick up the phone and call any Ford dealer anywhere, or you can press this speaker button. I'll do that. You don't have to actually pick the phone up. Price out this SUV. This SUV.
Good question.
This is,
Would hope nothing.
I'm not, man. That's who I am.
Yeah, baby.
Reduced to referring to myself by that name, which is absurd.
Third person.
On the radio and on MSNBC. Well, here's what can happen. Later. Okay. The last time we had him on, he came up big time. And I think he was in Australia then. He's doing the play-by-play along with Cliff Drysdale.
Oh.
And some lesbian of the Australian Open, our friend Pat McEnroe, who incidentally is the captain of the Davis Cup team. Good morning, Mr. McEnroe.
Good evening from Melbourne, Australia, Mr. Imus, and boy, am I relieved.
Why?
Well, we get reports of the news here. It takes a little time, and when I heard that a self-proclaimed pioneer of broadcasting had passed away, I got very nervous.
Yeah.
So I immediately called Bernard, and I said, "Has the I-Man bit the dust?" And Bernard said, "We can only hope, I-Man." and then I realized it was Jack Parr that had passed away.
True enough.
Well,
very, very sad. Yeah. Now we get the news here pretty late, and I heard some of the reports about John Kerry and his success that he's had the last couple of weeks. Very hard for me to get any reports on Kucinich and Sharpton down here.
All right. Well, they're not doing all that well, although Reverend Sharpton is expected to do fairly well in South Carolina next Tuesday.
Well, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear the breaking news, I-Man?
No, I did not.
One of the leaders of one of the great broadcasting companies in the world has just resigned. And no, I'm not referring to the Director General, Greg Dyke of the BBC. It's a big story in London. I'm referring to Mr. Mark Chernoff for not having Sid and Jody down at the Super Bowl. I mean, there's really been a massive public outcry about that. I mean, honestly, does anybody give a rat's you-know-what? I mean, you honestly think anybody cares to hear them at the Super Bowl? Where exactly would they be broadcasting from?
Well, I can't answer any of those questions.
The Outback Steakhouse?
Well, yes, probably so.
I mean, are you afraid that this says something about you, I-Man? That your boy Sid, who's now become your little boy, that he can get a gig down at the Super Bowl?
Well, no, I don't think it's a reflection on me at all.
Do you honestly think that anyone wants to see them in Houston, Texas?
Oh, of course not. No.
Yeah, we do.
Other
than us, here in New York.
Aside from us, yeah. Did Agassi lose?
Agassi lost. Yes, he lost to Marat Safin, the big Russian. Phenomenal tennis match.
How many sets?
And 5 sets. It went the distance.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, there's actually, in all seriousness, it's been an unbelievable tournament on the men's side. There's been great matches. And
what was the score in the 5th set?
I think it was 6-3, I believe. 1 break of serve.
Didn't you call the match?
Yes, I did, Don.
When did the match conclude?
About a couple of glasses of wines ago.
Oh, well, that explains that then.
So you will be at Mohegan Sun on February 6th, correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Why do I sense a slight undertone in your voice?
Well, because I'm just, well, you have to be serious. Of course I'm not.
No, Don.
Yeah.
How much do you really miss me?
No, we like you a lot, but I'm not going to be.
But you personally.
How is it?
Just man to man, I meant.
You're kind of making me uncomfortable here, Pat. Are things not going all that well with, what's your wife's name, Melissa?
Melissa Erico, John, yes.
That's still...
I'm not gonna ask you about how things are going with your wife, because I know you just talk about it incessantly.
No, I don't. But that's on track still, you and Melissa?
Yeah, no problems there. By the way,
okay, good.
You think Deirdre and I can make up after all these years?
I didn't know there was a problem.
Yeah, what's the deal?
Well, she's the one that forced me out of the Imus in the Morning program.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she certainly did.
Well, how did she do that?
She attacked me live on the radio.
Oh, well, she attacks everybody, so you have to get over that. So.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm trying to get over it, Don.
Okay, we're back on the air now, Pat.
Okay, good. So I got a couple of bits here for you, right, man?
All right. So Agassi lost, and who's in the other semifinal? Andy and who else?
No, Andy lost to Safin. Andy Roddick is out.
He is?
Just gives him more time to prepare for the Davis Cup up in Mohegan Sun, so it's no problem. Yeah, he lost. Roger Federer and Juan Carlos Ferrero in the other men's semifinal tomorrow.
So Roger Federer, he looked like he's playing pretty well.
Roger Federer is a genius on the tennis court, sort of like you in the broadcast booth, I mean.
Plays a little bit like your brother used to play, right?
Similar, but he's sort of old school modern the way he plays.
Yeah.
He's got the power and he's got the whole deal going.
Yeah.
How was Mr. Collins? He called in earlier?
We didn't have a chance to get him on the air.
Well, that's too bad.
I saw you guys.
What's the matter with you, I mean?
Well, no, we didn't have time to put him on the air. I saw you guys show him in the stands the other night, which I thought was nice, and you and whatever lesbian was up in the booth with you there, and Cliff.
Excuse me, Don?
Whatever.
Don, we do not need to go there.
I know we don't. We have to.
No, that's not necessary.
We have to go, but thank you very much, Patrick.
Don?
Yeah.
Who loves you, baby?
I didn't know what day it was when you walked into the room. I said hello unnoticed. You said goodbye too soon. Breezing through the clientele, spinning yarns that were so lyrical. I really must confess right here, the attraction was purely physical. You're in my heart, you're in my soul. You be my breath, should I grow old. You are my lover, you're my best friend. You're in my soul. Imus in the morning.
LendingTree.com presents How to Get Out from Under Debt. First, take...
Create your own Travelocity total trip vacation. You'll have access to special rates and great savings when you book your flight and hotel together. At this time of year, everything helps. All you have to do is go to Travelocity.com or call 1-888-TRAVELOCITY for details. As the roaming gnome would say, book with Travelocity and don't forget your hat. Minimum 4-night stay at selected resorts required. Offer ends February 27, 2004. Other restrictions apply, and you can see the site for further details.
Imus.
A certified pre-owned Lexus is sophisticated style, impeccable craftsmanship, and sound value. There's one tri-state Lexus dealer that specializes in the sales and service of certified pre-owned Lexus, Lexus of Westport. In addition to their post-road flagship stores selling new and certified pre-owned Lexus, they offer their Fairfield Center exclusively dedicated to certified pre-owned Lexus and other quality pre-owned. With 2 locations, it's no wonder Lexus of Westport is the largest volume certified pre-owned Lexus dealer in Connecticut. Call them today at 866-280-4000. They make it so easy with home and office deliveries. And you can shop right over the phone, 866-280-4000. That's 866-280-4000. Let their advantage work to your advantage. 866-270-4000, Lexus of Westport, and Lexus of Westport pre-owned in Fairfield.
If you're losing your hair, then I have great news for you. Now you can have twice as much hair within 90 days, guaranteed.
Program on the radio and on MSNBC tonight, 7 o'clock on MSNBC. The Democratic debate, which could be a good one.
Could indeed. Coming out of New Hampshire, should be interesting.
Because Reverend Al, he'll be fired up.
Yeah.
They'll be going after Kerry.
Yeah.
Dean's, the wheels have come off.
Reverend Al can't be happy about this big endorsement of Kerry by James Clyburn, the only black congressman from South Carolina.
That is not good.
Widely viewed as, quote, the godfather of black politics in the state. So,
They're embarrassed by Sharpton.
They can't be happy.
Jody McDonald and Sid Rosenberg are upset because the radio station, at least Sid is, the radio station didn't send them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I've called them both in the studio. Jody's here. Good morning, Mr. McDonald. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Imus.
And Mr. Rosenberg, how are you?
I'm all right.
Okay. So let's pretend you're at the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I'll be Coach Belichick.
Okay. Oh, let's start it.
So we could get a taste of what would happen if you two were at the Super Bowl.
Let's see what we are missing.
All right, start it off, Joe. How would it go if you was Bill Belichick? Coach Belichick, why is it that you won't come on the Mike and the Mad Dog show? Why are you on with us two stiffs?
Because essentially don't like fat people, and I'm anti-Semitic.
Well, that's true, but you also hate Mike Francesa, don't you, Coach? Admit it.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, see, there it is. That's perfect. That's great radio.
He's a fat butt-kissing weasel who's in the tank for Parcells, and Parcells will see what a genius he is here in the next couple of years, okay?
Give me the one player in your team, Coach, right now that may end up like Stanley Wilson did a couple of years ago for the Bengals at the Super Bowl.
On my team?
Yeah.
Well, Tom Brady's been around. You know, so you saw Access Hollywood. He's out with a different babe every night. Could be pretty ugly, so.
That's about the answer Bill Belichick could probably give, by the way.
So this is about this is what you would get.
Pretty much.
While you were there.
Yeah.
Nothing. There's no reason for you two to be. You get to thinking about it.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to even be here.
To be on the air with your own show.
I'm actually glad that we're not going to the Super Bowl because I'm a little short on cash, and Sid would expect me to put up the bail money. So I'm glad we're staying home.
There are 400,000 words in the English language, and there are 7 of them you can't say on television. What a ratio that is. 399,993 to 7. They must really be bad. You know the 7, don't you, that you can't say on television?
When David Crawford ordered SBC Yahoo DSL, he got $10 in free MovieLink money. He saves time downloading movies with high-speed DSL. Enough time to recreate the movie experience at home.
Welcome to Crawford Cinemas. Visit our lobby for leftover meatloaf made with onion soup mix.
Dad,
fresh ground.
this is stupid. I don't see why we can't...
Please, no talking.
Paul Begala.
Okay.
So.
Well, unfortunately, he says some of the right things.
Yeah. Well.
That's the, they gave him that opportunity.
Pardon me?
They gave him that opportunity. He's sounding the right notes, even though it's coming from a Clinton apologist.
Yeah.
Who himself, by the way, responsible for 9/11, of course.
Who?
Bill Clinton.
Oh, absolutely. You'll never. Paul Begala won't tell you that Bill Clinton had Osama bin Laden handed to him on a silver platter and declined to take advantage of that opportunity. So.
It wasn't the economy, stupid. It was the national security.
Yeah.
Idiot.
So. But I'm gonna say I like Begala, but I just think you have to. He's tormented.
Yes, he is.
Angry.
He's bitter.
And he's bitter.
Still a bitter man. Still a bitter
He's out of power. They moved Crossfire from prime time to up against Oprah. How do you think that's working out for him?
Mm-hmm. Doing well.
He's got to work with a dork wearing a bow tie.
Yeah, so.
But there was no WMD. The administration was wrong. The chicken hawks on the radio were wrong. They were all wrong.
Yeah.
And he's got them.
Yeah. So I guess he's, and he hates George Bush.
He more cares about making George Bush look bad than he does about the 510 dead guys. That's the problem.
Believe me.
That's where he and I diverge.
Yeah. It's very personal with him and George Bush. And that's too bad. So. But I like to have Paul on because I like him. That's one. And two, I know that it angers so many people. It just makes people furious.
Get some interesting messages from...
Conversely, the liberal people who love the I-Man, they love Begala.
Oh, absolutely.
That's fine.
They love the argument.
Yeah. So,
and as Bernard points out, some of Begala's points are even a little surprising sometimes.
You mean in that they're valid, or?
Yeah, in their validity.
No. Yeah. Well, that is the most surprising aspect of anything Begala ever says, is that there is some validity in some things he says.
Certainly.
Validity is not a word I want to try to say a bunch of times, by the way.
Okay.
Validity.
Some of the things he has to say
like regularly. Anyway, here's Chuck with what's going on in the world, Charles.
The number of U.S. workers can't make Begala's day, but the number of U.S. workers filing first-time applications for unemployment benefits declined a little bit last week, matching Wall Street's expectations, validating the view of most economists that the labor market is, in fact, slowly recovering.
You know, every time one of these nannies quits, and I've had it happen several times, they file for unemployment insurance, claiming they were fired, or claiming there were extenuating circumstances under which they couldn't work.
Exactly, so that therefore it's your fault, not theirs.
And they lie.
And they're,
And then they get, and it costs me money. That's not a lot, but I mean, and they get their unemployment benefits. I mean, they're fat lying pigs, most of them, but in fact, they all are fat lying pigs.
Principal thing with the I-Man.
Fat lying, dishonest, incompetent pigs.
They have to hang in there for about 6 months before they qualify for unemployment. So the last 5.5 months must be real tough on them.
One of them claimed that she was abused because Wyatt punched her in the stomach. But this pig was so fat that punched her in the stomach, you could have hit her in the stomach with an Oldsmobile, and it would have hurt her.
Would have just thought you were parking.
Yeah. Well, very good what's on that. Well, it depends on many of them. But
it's not exactly Norman Rockwell-esque.
No. Wyatt punched me in the stomach. Shut up, you fat pig. Oh, God.
In the ass.
Well, he's punched about 5 of them. I mean, he's kidding around. He's not a baby. No, he's not. Whatever. 5 years old. Of course he's going to punch you.
He's not mugging him.
No.
He didn't stab anybody.
Not yet, no. But anyway, what else is going on, Charles, with the unemployment?
The suicide bomber who blew up the bus in Jerusalem today, killing 10, injuring 50.
Looking at the golf cart on Mars. No, it's a waste of time and money. Stop the madness. It's insane. It's absurd.
What if somebody had said that the Queen Isabella when Columbus was taken
Fine, it was a different world then. We got a lot of problems now. Spend the money finding Osama bin Laden and solve that problem. How about that? How about taking $800 million and going to Iraq or Afghanistan?
We've already done that.
Thank you.
God, 80 million.
Interesting slip. 87 billion for Iraq. How about taking 800 million? I was going to say give it to the CIA. We already gave them 30 billion. They couldn't find their ass with both hands on a flashlight.
How about giving it to like a platoon of Boy Scouts?
Anybody.
Keeping it out of the hands of the CIA.
Give it to Bo Dietl and give it to Jimmy the Wags and Mike Saravello and let them go find a guy.
Absolutely.
What if it cures AIDS?
What?
With diseases, this trip to Mars.
Well, you know,
There's long-term applications. You'd think in the short term.
Now
How about some vision?
I got some vision, you bald-headed stooge. Now is not the time to go to Mars. When the wheels have come off this country. Get this thing straightened out first. What's the matter?
Well, the answer might be out in space.
You know who I wish was out in space?
Okay,
you.
It's useless even discussing it with you.
God almighty.
It's useless.
The answer is out in space. You know what the answer is? The answer is a bunch of fat, pink lion weasels surrounding George Bush. Get them out of there. Cheney, out. Rumsfeld, out. Tenet, out. Definitely out. Buckteeth over there at the National Security Office. Get her out of there.
Yeah, how about some apologies for the families of these dead soldiers?
Start with that on your way out. Say, I'm sorry I lied about all this, and I'm sorry your son or daughter's dead.
Yeah, Sean Hannity's comfortable with the decisions that were made. Yeah, he has all his limbs.
Which is, you know what we should start by doing? Executing Robert McNamara. That's the first thing we should do. Just go back and settle that old score first.
And work our way forward?
Yeah, drill that bastard between the eyes. And then pull up at the Pentagon and go in and clean that out.
Grab Rumsfeld by the head.
Yeah. Well, we have to go, Pat, but thank you very much for checking in with us.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be funny every time, does it?